Alright, second time trying to record. There's some energy swirling. But something is coming through. It's been following me this week about hard work and how other people can have the audacity to look at another person and consider them lazy and not working when work is a made up thing. We're meant to obviously work in some ways, like earn to live on this physical planet, but in terms of how we're meant to exist and our purpose, we are just meant to move through life and work with the elements and the light and the moon and the cycles of the seasons in a way that is like aligned with our soul and the health and the benefit of everybody. Obviously that's got twisted and altered over the evolution of society and civilization, but you know, massive things are changing right now, and where emotions have been suppressed because the need for survival becomes paramount because some people just don't have the means to look after themselves. They don't have the basic, like they don't have access to shelter and food and love. Like that's when the suppression of emotion comes through, and people, like a lot of us, and we're not taught to, and this is why it would heal the nations, is like learning to manage our emotions, because a lot of the things that the problems that exist is from suppressing ourselves, how we feel, and we're taught to just work hard and carry on and ignore this sort of humanness, this authentic energy, this vibration, this purity that is in our hearts that we get born with. And like a lot of us don't realise that we are natural transmuters of energy. So in terms of how we work, we're working all the time. Like what some people might consider a holiday is like, I'm not on a holiday. I'm doing energetic global work right now. And whether people think this stuff's made up or not, cool, time will tell. But a lot of people are natural light bringers, especially right now, because a lot of us are addressing the wounding and the shadow, and we're not afraid to do it. So the embodiment and the integration comes full circle, and we can sort of catapult into the light and bring that light with us and share it with other people, and then that's like multiplied, and it's that ripple effect. But people looking at other people like resting, some people need more rest than others because they're giving in different ways, a lot as well in the unseen and the non-verbal realms and ways. So, this is releasing because I've been needing to get this out all week, is on the path of like self-mastery and knowledge, as soon as we start to learn ourselves, which, you know, it's never ending really, we go around in cycles, but this like self-mastery, this journey of regulating our emotions, we then can set ourselves up for such a more aligned life and peaceful life and communities. And that's why a lot of people say, you know, healers, we are all healers, but not a lot of us are choosing to do the work. So everybody has the capacity to save themselves, but this codependency that has been sort of like encouraged in society to be dependent on others leads people away from themselves, and we think that we need another person to complete and save us, when that's not the case. We save ourselves, but companionship and togetherness and union is what we are meant for, because that is the human existence. That is how we get the greatest mirrors, when we're in relationships with other, intimate or platonic. And yeah, why they say healers need to be with protectors, because a protector's instinct is to want to look after a vulnerable, pure heart. And when someone can see that in another and it not be about any form of judgment, it's just they feel the energy of their love. And healers, all they want to do is nourish and nurture and safeguard and allow these strong masculine men, and I mean strong in a physical but also emotional and mental and spiritual way, to lean into their pillow, their there was an emoji the other day and it was so funny. It said like, it was a cute little cartoon and it was like, world hard, titty soft. you know, the healers are meant to be here for the divine masculine so that they have a safe space to go to. That all we want to do is nurture and nourish and create safe haven. And I'm not saying that the men don't do that, because it's the balance of divine and feminine masculine energy in us. But when an embodied man, a masculine, looks to a woman in any other way other than mother, Gaia, life force, like the provider of life, the creator, and instead want to use their energy and take their energy, the sacral is a very, very powerful force of nature, and really is not being utilised properly by a lot of people. But I'm not here to judge, I just can see the energy that people pick up and not. But so yeah, I believe that's why healers need to be with protectors, because that energy of that balance radiates outward and supports the healing of the nations. And it's then less about judging what people consider hard work or not. Is that one lot of people, masculine and feminine, however we identify as that, do that work, and then the others do that work, and we do what is in alignment with our highest good, the highest good of the collective, our highest potential, which is not going to look the same as everybody. So someone considering someone being lazy because they're resting has no idea energetically of the power that they are or yielding on the planet right now, and what they're transmuting, and what comes through in the night's gate, like the dream, like what people have to navigate which loads of people are talking about in the minute, and it is being felt, and it has been a while. Is like there is no veil anymore. I've had some visitors come to me, and I'm not talking about physical, and I'm like, oh, this is not easy. And other people might consider it scary, but I've had some really weird stuff happen over the past 48 hours. So for someone to consider someone else like not doing anything, it's relative to our purpose and soul alignment, and which is why Babylon has created this whole comparative issues, because it's to create insecurity in the people. But when we release the insecurities, we're not here to compete, we're here to come together to be stronger, because we can overthrow anything when we are power in numbers. That does mean that some of us, obviously, like with this, and it's funny because I don't go around saying to everybody, I'm a shaman. Like I said, I don't need to be a shaman. I got called. It's tough. It ain't for everybody. But I also don't introduce myself to everybody. Like that, people say, what do you do? What do you do? And it's weird. I was thinking, there's only some people that I say I'm shaman. So other people I say spiritualist. Other people I say do a whole host of things. You know, I've got marketing background. I've got events. We've all got that Babylon skill set, you know. Have done, you know, farm work and various bits and bobs. And music promotion, blah, blah, blah. And we're all multidimensional. So we've all got these strands available to us. But I'm sorry, being the tangent is real right now. As soon as I said the veil's not there, then I can feel some visitors in the room with me right now. Anyway, if I'm not meant to talk about it, I'm not meant to talk about it. But we can't compare our insecurities and comparisons. It's just, all of that is just an illusion. That's the illusion of Babylon. That's the illusion of the modern world. And we're really meant to be nurturing ourselves in ways that are, we're not pushing and forcing now, because there's a lot to contend with. Energies that have been previously unknown, in our physical surroundings, because we can well, maybe not everybody doesn't feel it and they identify as something else, but anyway, I can tell that I'm on the next thing, so there's clearly some stuff coming through. The main thing is, though, nobody can tell other people what hard work looks like, and what stuff that I see, hard work is off the scale. I see people working harder than I've ever seen in my entire life, and they have access to nothing, and they're not complaining. So it's an everyday humbling experience, and not here to preach at all. We're all given the life contracts and situations that we've chosen before we incarnate on this realm, and I believe that, and I believe we choose our parents, and I've just got so many clear signs about that right now. But before this goes down another rabbit hole, doesn't matter for external opinions. Like, if we are healers, many of us are coming into that realization now, is that we take time out whenever we need to. We flow and we create the life around us according to the rhythms of our soul. And the circle back round to is, I don't tell everybody that I'm a shaman, because it's weird, and some people don't really get it. And people also think that it's a flowery thing and you're going around saying you're a shaman, like hippy dippy stuff. And I'm like, I've got no idea of the darkness that you've got to transmute from others and around, whatever. And that's cool, because we're not scared of the darkness. Once we identify our own, it's easier to spot it in others and to know what we've got the capacity that day to interact with and help transmute or to swerve. And there is going to be some swerving right now, because we've got to focus on our own mission and our own path, unfortunately, and we can't save anybody else. But it's like, when I say that, I think the people that I say it to, I've been told, is like, it comes with a warning. And I don't say it to everybody, but it's like, I must be saying it to people who their soul must recognise that in me. And it does freak some people out. Like, some people can't handle my energy. Like, I'm not for everybody. Some people call it intense. Some people call it delulu. And this started about one thing, and it's like, I mean, there's just as we tap into this collective energy, it is a bit chaotic, it's a bit confusing, and that's why I say grounding and non-comparing to anybody else's life is the only way that we're going to get through, because there's energies being thrown at us all the time to knock us off our path, to confuse. Confusion and chaos is how stuff can pull us away from our soul and pull us away from our healing, pull us away from our heart, our love, and yeah, everybody works in different ways, but divine masculine protects in the physical and divine feminine in the spiritual. So I think once we learn to cultivate our own happiness, we don't depend on anybody else, we don't give our power away, we learn to regulate our emotions, then we can identify what shifts are ours, what we're shifting and creating in our surroundings, and what's coming into our auric field. And I think that wisdom is going to circulate more in the collective, and a lot of people are just going to get a wake-up call, and they're thinking, like, pivot and swerve away from people, or, when you don't feel appreciated, loved or seen, or there's like levels of misunderstanding all the time. You're not going to hang around with people like that. And it's no judgment. It's not people are horrible. It's vibration and alignment. And if people don't realise, if we don't take the time to look properly at what's not working for ourselves and change, then we're going to go around in loops and loops and loops. So I hope there is a trust, there is some thread there. 1353. And keep grounding and not comparing.